Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles on KwingsLetsPlays.
Yeah!
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bells while it's joining our official website, KwingsLetsPlays.com, for our free newsletter. And special thanks again to Capcom for providing a copy of this game for review, walkthrough, and live streaming purposes. So,
Awesome.
Today a update video went up, and tomorrow a highlight reel is going up at noon. And just a kind of misconception some people have, not a lot of people, but some people believe that the channel is A-OK now. No, what is going on is the channel has stabilized because of all your guys' efforts for watching shorts, liking, sharing, commenting. That's kind of like a daily activity. So one day, 48 hours is not going to repair 8 years of damage. It's gonna have to be consistent. I'm not asking for people to go crazy like they have been on the weekend, but you know, like I said, we got to sit around that like 100,000 to 95,000, 48-hour range for views a day. So the weekends can shoot up like this like crazy, which is amazing. I mean, you guys, 140,000 views right now after 48 hours. So it jumped again from, you guys watching shorts and sharing and watching older videos, all this stuff. So that's amazing. But,
Thanks, guys.
it has to be consistent. Anyway, it's time for us to continue.
Really appreciated everyone, and we really appreciate everyone's efforts.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. And I don't know what else to say. I kind of am talked out. I talked a lot on the Mario Kart thing.
Okay,
but
so
I'll be talking more on this stream.
Yep.
That's right, Droggle says we'll do it every day until it's done. That's very sweet, Droggle.
Yeah, until YouTube can actually correct itself, which we don't even know when that'll be.
We shouldn't have to ask people to do all this.
Well, actually,
a lot of YouTubers do ask for all that.
I mean, likes and shares.
Likes and shares always help, but like for pushing this much so our channel doesn't completely get destroyed. That we shouldn't have to do that, but we have to.
You can thank our Google contact for that. He said if we could find some way to
increase people watching the shorts and likes and shares.
He didn't say necessarily people like increasing watching the shorts. He says we already had a dedicated audience of like about 6,000 or 7,000 people a day that are watching videos on the channel. It's just they're not liking and sharing, and they're not leaving comments. So I mean, yeah. It's pretty much all that needed to really happen. But anyway, let's explore this room while we can. And we are playing as Sherlock Holmes and Watson at the moment.
Awesome! I'm excited. Mikatoba!
Yep, Mikatoba.
And Sholmes.
Is this the same cabin where what's-his-name died? Or is this something... This is a different show.
Maybe.
Looks very similar.
Oh yeah, because we can joke around about that, because what's-his-name didn't really die.
Yeah. Okay. According to the report I was given, Naruhodo was concealing himself in Asogi's wardrobe. Indeed he was. It was of similar size to this one. Ah, you must climb inside yourself, my dear fellow. What? Whatever for, Holmes? It was the site of my first fateful meeting with Mr. Naruhodo. You can experience the moment for yourself now, complete with my dramatic rhetoric. Come along now, in you go. This will only take a moment. Really, Sholmes? Surely you can tell. You can just tell me what you said, what? Well, I uttered some brilliant remark and opened the wardrobe to reveal the stowaway and murderer. I think I'll just read about it in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Okay. Can we explore the side of the room now? So we have some water here. Quite the exquisite glass, I must say. I see here how it's, is there something wrong, Sholmes? You suddenly trailed off. Ice, Mikatoba, ice! What opulence, the first-class passengers enjoy cold drinks. Chilled drinks. Pardon? Could it be that the steamship is equipped with an electricity refrigerator cold room, do you think? Well...
Oh my gosh!
It is a luxury, after all, Holmes. They have enormous refrigerators for storing all kinds of lavish produce as well as ice. On our voyage from Japan, we enjoyed culinary delights from all over the world.
Refrigerator. You could have refrigerated the body.
Suddenly, Mikitoba, the sight of you is making my mouth water.
Are you gonna eat Mikitoba?
I haven't taken on the flavor of food I ate, you know. Okay.
That's weird.
That's
Holmes,
weird.
don't be weird. Thanks for the super chat. Thank you so much.
This is the waste bag. Ah, this is the trash bag. Look, and there's still rubbish inside. Indeed. Then let us pry. I've discovered recently I have a penchant for exploring the contents of other people's waste paper baskets.
Yeah, penchant. Yeah.
I certainly hope only for your work, Holmes. Ah. Here we are. Notice is issued to passengers from 3 days ago. 3 days ago? The night before we arrived in London. Then I was still aboard myself.
Jonathan says, "Let's go! We love you guys!"
Thank you, hearts.
Thanks so much, Jonathan! You're breathtaking!
Ah, yes, Holmes. There was a evacuation drill, I remember now. For our safety and security, all first-class passengers were constantly under the watchful eye of the crew. So it was welcome relief to have some privacy for once. The evacuation drill, added into the court record. Yeah, but how is that magically going to end up in the court record with everybody else? Aren't we, like, near France or something now? These are the rules for passage, Holmes. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Additionally, there are severe punishments for stowing away in wardrobes and or travel cases. Oh. They added that. I feel the rules have increased since I last read them. Probably just my imagination. What about the fact that they're not straight on the wall? Doesn't that strike you as odd? You may be right. Probably just your imagination, though, I trifle. And you know what I always say, Mikitoba? There's nothing more important than trifles. It's probably just my imagination, Holmes, but I think that might be slightly off. Okay, so there's really not much helping us with this investigation at the moment. It's a very sizable trunk indeed. Shishiro is partial to all things large, and a rather clumsy fellow if he failed to notice he'd left that behind. Perhaps he left it on purpose. It's lighter than you might think, but still a hindrance to speedy escape.
Maybe he went into his disguise.
Pity. It's locked, so we can't look inside. Surely 5 seconds from the situation will be quite different, though? Sadly not. It is not a 7-digit combination lock. And I am not in the Morse enough mood to work through all combinations at present. Okay.
I think morose enough.
I've never heard
But I
of
don't
that.
know what that... A lot of words I know how to say them, but I don't actually know what they mean.
Plenty of reading material and keeping passengers occupied on the long sea voyages. I found the mixture of classic literature and easy reading to be most satisfactory, I must say. Whoever stocked this bookcase was a hopeless heretic. There's no copy adventure of the Herlock Sholmes, my dear fellows. Oh, I'm afraid it's just me, but no, you're quite right. More blasphemous than overlooking the Bible. I shall leave a copy behind. I just happen to have one on with me. You're a true missionary of the Church of the Great Detectives, aren't you, Holmes?
Morose. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. In a bad mood, so he's not in a bad enough mood to try it.
The wall is slightly a different color, just do you see, Holmes? Indeed, what have we observed arises when a frame that has been hanging from some time is removed.
There will be a Marvel stream tonight.
Yes. Perhaps your friend is an art thief. No, there's a bold deduction worthy of a great detective, I'm sure. He may very well be the elusive thief who has been plaguing France's galleries of late. I think perhaps we should focus our attentions elsewhere, Sholmes, don't you? That outline on the wall, though, I feel as though I might have spotted something of a similar shape and size elsewhere. Uh-oh. Whoa. You
Whose
there?
tummy was that?
That was not Tommy, that was Kitty growling. Why you growl?
It was a kitty.
Why you growl, Kitty? What is up
There
with
was
you?
Zelda. She growled.
She growled.
What is it, Zelda?
You are still here, why? Mr. Stroganoff, hello again.
Beef stroganoff!
I was beginning to think you'd never materialize, sir. Eh? You are waiting for me? Of course. I was expecting you to burst in with a hearty Russian profanity far sooner. I was in trouble with Captain because of trick you played before. Poor innocent, Stroganoff.
Chicken.
It is
don't
your
know.
fault. Ship is leaving port soon. Get off now. Of course, we shall disembark presently, my dear fellow. But first, there is something that must be done. What are you talking about? Why, naturally, the debunking of your deceit at the barring of the truth. Yeah. I'm afraid I see through your lies. For one thing, Mr. Jigoku has not yet left this vessel at all. Yeah. And for another, my dear Seaman Stroganoff, you know exactly where the man is, even as we speak, don't you?
It says food delivery is calling my phone. That's weird.
How much do what? How do you know? I mean, you could go take it in the kitchen.
No, I don't want to.
Good gracious, Holmes. You mean you've worked it out, all of it? It's really been too long, hasn't it, old friend? 10 years, no less. Oh! So, would you care to join me for a dance of my... Oh no. Logic and reasoning? No!
Logic and reasoning dance!
No, no, no. Nothing would please me more, my friend. What is this?
The weird thing is, it says the phone call was coming from Chicago.
That is weird.
Yeah.
We have but minutes until the vessel puts to sea. No games now.
That would be a long way to drive to deliver some food.
Yep. This...
Time is of the essence! Sorry.
It's fine. Mr. Stroganoff, allow me to remind you of your earlier claim. You told us that Jigoku left the ship from 2 hours ago. Yes, that is right. That is what's said. Sadly, that was rather a clumsy lie. You see, there is something in this room that quite clearly contradicts it. What? Ah, yes, of course. I see you've noted it too, Mikitoba. Then please do take the lead. What in this cabin shows the impossibility of Jigoku having disembarked 2 hours ago? Let us see what the last 3 years have done to your observational skills, Mikitoba. It's been 10 years since we last did the Sholmes, not 3. Ah, why of course it has, quite. Now all the clues are here in the cabin for your eyes to see. But as always, you must not merely look, but observe, 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 and answers will become clear. So, impress me. I think I can manage that, sir. What's going on? I think they're having a problem with your order, honey. That's why they're calling.
They said, like, that they don't have any... Oh, I'll just write... I'll just say, just cancel the order is fine, because they don't have any coffee.
Take that!
Whoops. Mikitoba, no games now were mere words, were they not? Come, Sholmes, what's the fun in life without a little fooling around, eh? Quite right you are, my friend. That was a close shave. I'd better rethink that before I'm a fool here again. Okay. Jigoku disembarked 2 hours ago, after all. That wasn't a lie, was it? Of course it was, and I had hoped you would be quicker to point that out why. Otherwise, the evidence itself may melt away before our very eyes. The ice? What would the ice have to do with... I can't examine that. Oh, I literally have to point something out? Yeah. Okay. I don't know what he wants me to point out. The chest?
Take that!
Nope. Mikitoba, no games now, were my words, were they not? Ah, come, Sholmes, where's the fun in life without a little fooling around, eh? Haha. Oh, quite right, yet? No, we already did that. Okay, that's another strike we have. Jigoku didn't disembark 2 hours ago at all. That was a lie, wasn't it? Of course it was, and I'd hoped you would be quicker to point out why. Otherwise, the evidence itself may melt away before... Seriously, the ice? Really? How is the ice?
Well, it means that somebody was in here recently. Otherwise, ice would have melted.
Oh, right.
If he left, if the judge was here early in the day, wouldn't that ice have melted within like an hour?
Why is he dancing?
I don't know.
Perhaps you should have cleared away that glass. How curious that the ice shouldn't have melted despite it being abandoned 2 hours ago. Blech. It would appear that the man was here in this very cabin until moments before our arrival. What with this well-chilled glass in hand? Get your mind off refreshment, Sholmes. One might even conclude that somebody informed him of our boarding. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Stroganoff? But why would Sushiro run away from us? That is a very good question. Before we consider the question, allow me to confirm one small matter. I would be correct in saying that these first-class cabins of the SS Grouse...
Grouse.
Yeah, we should change the name of that. Oh, we're having internet problems. Never mind. Grouse. Are the same ones in which you and Mr. Goku were accommodated on our voyage from... your voyage from Japan. That's right, they are. Very well done, Holmes. I was in the cabin next door. Sushiro was, yes. 50 days in this very cabin during our voyage.
50 days?
As I suspected for you. Yeah, it used to be a lot longer to travel by boat in the Victorian era. In the time of steamships. These are the traces in the cabin of a dark secret that Mr. Goku had to hide. What traces is that, Holmes? I know nothing about this. And this is news to you, Mr. Stroganoff, or so you say. Sholmes, what exactly are you getting at? I'm getting there. As I said, there are traces in this cabin of some nefarious activity. Something that appears out of place, which I'm quite sure won't have escaped your notice. Something out of place in here? That's the key to this, Mikitoba? The remnants of the dark deed that took place in here are being masked by something quite I didn't catch that. I must say, I didn't foresee ever doing this dance of deduction with you again, Mikitoba.
Oh, look, you have so many voices.
Yeah, I know.
You want me to do Mikitoba, or...?
I'm good. No, but life is full of unexpected twists and turns, as we all know, Holmes. Now then, let's see if I can't uncover the truth here. Yes, you have the floor, my dear fellow. What exactly?
It's just a stupid order.
Mark on the wall. Let's save in case I'm wrong. Oh, I can't save. Wow.
I told them to cancel the order, but they still keep calling me.
Yeah, you'll have to probably go in the kitchen.
I don't want to talk to them. I'm in the middle of something.
Okay, they're
I
just...
clearly texted them to say cancel the order.
Why don't you put your phone on vibrate then? Or not vibrate, on off, because they're going to keep calling you.
It's not that big of a deal. I just needed a coffee. It's like they're making it such a huge deal. I just said canceling the order.
This thing.
I'll just write, please cancel the order.
You already said that.
Right, and they'd already. I don't understand what their problem is. You tell them what to do. They don't want to cancel. They want to have a 9-hour conversation with you about what can we do to make you happy.
Oh,
It's
nope,
like,
that was wrong.
canceling the order would be.
Mikoto, but no games now, were my words, were they not? Oops. Yeah, I know, I messed up, Holmes. My bad. Okay, so... Okay. You must tilt your head to one side and listen carefully to the faint cries of the scene. Hear the evidence calling out to you to find it. Here I am, it cries. Well, our methods were never conventional, but you know, I've always been willing to give them a try.
There, it's not on vibrate anymore.
Dear God, Mikotoba, open your eyes! Ah!
There we go.
The dresser? The wardrobe? Seriously?
Take that!
Nope. That's wrong too. Mikotoba, no games now with my words. I don't know. Guys, I need help. We're one strike away from losing now.
I'm
gonna have to save. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh no! I mean, the only other thing I can think of is the thing inside of the cabin. I mean, when he's talking about crying and stuff like that, I guess it would be the this thing.
Yeah.
Speaking to.
I'm sorry, I just got so distracted. The remnants of the dark deed that took place in here are being masked by...
Nope, that was wrong too. Mikotoba, no games now with my words, were they not? Come, Sholmes, what's the fun in life without a little fooling around? Nope. Okay, so that was all wrong. Load.
Oh, thanks for the super chat, VG Shine. Thanks, VG Shine. Does anyone have any ideas, though? Oh. That was a lot of dialogue. Thanks so much, VG Shine. You're breathtaking. The rules, says Ethan. The rules on the board, says B. Monap, Mark. The rules on the ship, says OH. The rules,
okay,
Lon,
alright,
says Ronan.
Thank you. The rules.
The rules, the boat rules.
Boat rules, okay. Don't really see how that would be a thing, but alright. Boat rules.
The rules of the boat, says Tom.
Okay. Rules of the boat.
Thanks, guys.
It's the rules of passage in this frame here. They're obviously out of place, Sholmes. The way they're hanging crooked on the wall, as if they were put there in a hurry. Ah, yes. As I'm sure you've already concluded, that the frame was originally over here, the shape, the size, a perfect match. Da, you're right. When did frame move? Hardly the most observant of crewmen, are you, Mr. Stroganoff? I would think your captain is quite justified in having his reservations about your reliability. Yeah. Oh dear, was that really seemed to touch a nerve there, Sholmes? So, Mikotoba, why don't you lift the frame off the wall?
Thanks for the super chat, VG Shine.
That looks like a bullet hole, Holmes.
Oh my gosh.
What? Who has been shooting the walls? I see, the projectile has been removed, has it? Clearly the careful occupant of this room has already disposed of it. Now then, Mr. Stroganoff, here, I have the distinct impression that you're attempting to shield said occupant. I don't know what you're talking about. Why would I try to protect Eastern Stranger? So, you were talking about the same man I see. Good. Yeah. I'm sure we can get to the bottom of this in no time, aren't you? because there was some very noteworthy evidence that explains the reason why you're lying for the man. Yes, you've been told to keep us pretense as clearly as shown by... I really don't know how to approach this one, Sholmes. Ah, my dear Mikitoba, simply keep first principles in mind. Study your subject from every angle, and I'm quite sure that you'll see it. In fact, I'd put a wager on it. So I'm to glare at the fellow from all sides? Well, I can certainly do that. I mean, he has something in his pocket. There's money.
Pocket! What a banknote!
He's paid to... It's almost too obvious for words. Quite. The universal language of the world. Money. Yeah. And I'd wager the eastern fellow in question is Sushiro Jigoku, yes? Yeah! So I presume you realize what this means. There are no clear signs that the crime has been committed in this cabin. And the way you're going, sir, you'll find yourself accused of being an accomplice. But, I just want money. I believe you know how, Mr. Stroganoff. You know where Jigoku is hiding in precise moment in time. Yeah. As always, Mikitoba, it matters, in the matters of deduction, the furtive glance is unfaltering ally. Yes, I know you're onto something there, Sholmes. You found the chink in this burly fellow's armor. We need our fellow. We only follow the man's gaze to know where our prey is hiding. The slightest flicker of the pupils, a delayed blink, nothing escapes my attention, even that which is barely, perceptible. You could hardly call this barely imperceptible, Sholmes. The man's turned his entire head. It's not exactly what I'd describe as a furtive glance, is it? It's almost too obvious. We let our tapping toes decide, my dear fellow. What? I mean, is he looking at the chest?
Maybe the guy's in the chest. No. Well, I mean, he looks like he's looking at the chest. I don't know. Maybe the chest is bolted to the ground. I mean, how could he fit in the chest? That huge guy. Let me just, like, look on the... Yeah, they canceled my order. I got a message that says they canceled it.
Alright, it was the trunk. You turned immediately to look at this large trunk, didn't you, Holmes? The truth is, Sushiro Goku was unable to escape from the ship in time, and is at this very moment doing his best to stifle his breath inside this trunk. If he still has a breath to take, I fear he may be running dangerously low on air. Oh? I imagine he didn't count on us making a nuisance of ourselves for quite so long. I think it would be in everyone's best interest for us to open the trunk as quickly as possible. But how can you? Are you forgetting about the combination lock, Holmes? We don't know the 7-digit code. The combination lock can't be opened from the inside. What? Therefore, there must have been an arrangement for somebody to open it after our departure.
Oh.
Of course.
That guy.
In short, before Jigoku hid himself inside that trunk, he must have told somebody the 7-digit number for the lock. I'm sure you can confirm this, right, Mr. Stroganoff? Yeah. No, I know nothing about combination lock.
It's on his arm.
It's written on his arm.
5.
Don't move a muscle, my good seaman. Yeah. Now, Mikitoba, would you do the honors and open the trunk? How on earth do you expect me to do that, Sholmes? Elementary, my dear Watson. It's a 7-digit number, remember? Quickly now, you have little time. Huh?
Sholmes. It has to say S-H-O-L-M-E-S.
Well, how would you do that? What would be an S?
Well, let's see. If you had each letter of the alphabet, let's see. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So H would be an 8. Try 8. Wanna try it?
Try 8?
8.
Okay. Actually, can we save?
Yeah, we'll
No,
save.
we can't save.
Oh. Oh, darn it. We should have saved before.
Uh.
Alright, everyone's saying 5 for Sholmes, but I'm gonna...
5? I mean, that
You guys
kind of
can
looks like
try
an
it.
S. Okay.
Wait. S is 5. Wait. Yeah, you're right. What? Well, what would... 5, 2... Well, people are giving us the answer.
That's fine, because we
How did
we
you
can't-
guys know that, though?
They played through the
Wait.
game.
Not all you guys have the same answer, though.
Oh, that's not good.
There's like 3 different combinations. Guys, you guys don't have to write it over and over again. We can see it if you just write it once. Okay. Alright then. I don't really understand. Well, everyone thinks the first number is 5. Second number is either 4, 2, or 6. According to your fans. Third number is 0, 3, or 3. Or 0 or 3. I'm just so confused. So 4 is an 8. 4 is 8. I don't understand. Oh, it's like upside down?
5, 4. Still don't see how that would. Okay.
Maybe that would. Maybe you would read it from there. 5, 6, 3, 1, 0, 4, 5.
Okay.
5, 6, 3, 1, 0, 4, 5. 5, 6, 3. Oh, there we go. Caleb. 5, 6, 3, 1, 0, 4, 5. I believe that's it.
Where's there a 6? There's no 6.
Oh. There's no 6, Caleb.
There's no 6, Caleb.
But also there's no 6, me.
So
what
it would
is
be 5,
S?
5?
Well, no, he was looking at his arm. What the numbers look like. So, what does that E look like if you would go upside down and look at it?
3.
No, the E.
I don't know what the E would be.
Alright, well, there's no 6 available, guys. Try a 2 instead of a 6, someone says. Okay, fine. So let's try 5, 2, 3, 1, 0, 4, 5. That's what Tara and Grace says. 1.
1?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
0.
Yep.
4. 5.
Alright. 5, 2, 3, 1, 0, 4, 5.
Take that!
There we go. Good job, everybody. Well done. Click.
The second number was a curly Q too that looked like a 6. Good job, everyone!
That did it. It's open now. You had to meddle, didn't you?
How did he fit in there?
Well, Eugen, you found me now. Shishiro. Okay.
What?
I was really hoping beyond hope not to find you here, you know? Ah, but you're not entirely unsurprised, I take it. No, quite. I just wish it were some other way.
Yeah, you guys all helped.
Well, are you going to introduce me or not? Ah, your reputation precedes you, Sholmes. I've read stories of many of your exploits. Excuse my manners, Sholmes. This is Jigoku, my old friend and traveling companion. The devil is in the details, Mikitoba. I believe you meant to say your old friend and traveling companion, who made the cowardly decision to flee the country without a word to anyone when things turned sour. I see. My reputation precedes me as well. What an honor. Haha. Well, Shishiro, are you going to explain all this? You know it all by now, I imagine. What you didn't know, of course, is that 3 days ago, On the night before our arrival in Britain, an attempt was made on my life here on this very ship. By the Reaper of the Bailey? Yes, I've heard. Because you were once... Because you were once prosecuted by the Reaper, weren't you, 10 years ago now? And I had no idea at the time what a dangerous individual he was. Anyway, when we arrived in London to find the symposium was postponed until goodness knows when, it became all too apparent to me that I might very well be targeted again. So you decided to flee the capital without saying a word to me about it? I'm afraid so, yes. Of course, I realize now that I really ought to have confided in you. Somewhat surprising, I must say. What is? Well, first-class cabins aboard luxury steamships are in very short supply. It's more than a little hard to believe that this one just happened to be available. So says the protagonist of some colorful short stories. Well, I don't care for your opinion. The cabin did just happen to be available, so I purchased a ticket, and here I am. I've just seen for myself an obvious remnants of that incident in this cabin. So you've already purchased your ticket before we even docked in Dover, had you? To prevent anyone else taking the cabin and seeing the evidence, is that it? Eugen, I have nothing to say to you. Well, in a mere 5 minutes, the ship will set off on its onward voyage and not make port again until Italy. I'm afraid we must insist that you disembark with us at once. You have no jurisdiction over my movements, sir. We have this, Shishiro. We have this.
Take it.
What is it? It's a subpoena. It's a subpoena from the Old Bailey, I'm afraid. You're a man of law. You know that the ramifications of ignoring a document like this from the British courts would be... You came prepared then, Eugen. Come on, let's go. One moment, please. What is it, Sholmes? Inside Mr. Goku's trunk, I found this rather fascinating trinket. What is that, Shishiro? I can't help you, I'm afraid. Some small component from something. But what, I have no idea.
Man, his beard is weird.
His beard is very weird, yeah. By the look on his face, I think generally he doesn't know.
His beard looks like a giant zipper.
Well, let us pocket it in a small souvenir of our brief thing in France. The small component has been added into the court record. Well, young Naruhodo, I think we've done as much as we can, I'm afraid. The rest will be on your shoulders of you and your assistant. I mean, are you going to call him and tell him what's going on? Apparently not. Okay. Kazuma Asogi. I know you, and I know you wouldn't lie, but still, there's no doubt that you're hiding something behind your back. You know more than you're saying. During the past 30 minutes, while this court was adjourned, all possible efforts were expended. But sadly, Mr. Jigoku's whereabouts could not be ascertained. We must accept the unfortunate conclusion that the Reaper has already done the deed. I am right here, or wait, I am not the Reaper. There is no sense in waiting anymore for the court's time. The prosecution calls for the immediate verdict.
Objection!
Objection!
No, the trial cannot end now. You're a Japanese man, Ryunosuke. You should know when to lay down your sword. I don't currently have a sword, and you should know never to presume when the battle is won. The court has already been presented with all the evidence, and heard all the relevant testimony, and there can only be one conclusion, that the accused is guilty. All relevant testimony, huh? Far from it. there's still a crucial witness from whom the court is yet to hear a single word of testimony. In that case, call your witness to the stand at once, Consul. Woo!
Uh-oh.
Yes, my lord. Tomorrow, if possible.
The witness is already on his way and scheduled to arrive tomorrow.
Who on earth is this crucial witness? Shishiro Jigoku, the very man alleged murdered by the Reaper. Goku? You found him? Hehe.
Oh.
But the investigations of every policing resource in the capital suggest that Goku is already dead. How in the name of God did you find the man? He was located in France during the recess, at the port of Dunkirk. Thanks to one of Sherlock Holmes' famous deductions. Sherlock Holmes, you say? Inspector Gregson almost certainly met with Mr. Goku on the night of his death, because, along with Prosecutor Asogi, Gregson was on a mission to assassinate the man. Which means that Shishiro Goku is the sole witness who can clarify exactly what happened aboard the SS Grouse on the 31st of October.
Yeah.
Well, it would appear that it is too soon to move to an adjunction at this point. Blast. The prosecution concurs. The court must hear Goku's testimony tomorrow. No judgment should be passed until then. In that case, I hereby call an end of today's proceedings. Court will reconvene at the same time tomorrow. No objections from either side? No, my lord, I'm good. No objections, my lord. I object. I don't want to sleep in the cell. Blessed! We live to fight another day, but the skin of our teeth.
Kakarot, says Ethan. Judge Goku is coming. You should make him be like, hey, I'm Goku.
No, I don't think I will. To
I'm
be
Judge Goku.
continued. But we have still more of this trial.
I had to go dig carrots up for Chi-Chi. That's when I was gone for a while.
That's Gohan.
I don't know how to do Goku's
That doesn't
voice.
sound like Goku at all. Save your current progress.
I don't know how
Yes.
to do Goku's voice.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Back to jail, Van Zeeks, to you.
No, I don't want to go. You can't make me. I don't want to be in a deep, dark cell. I prefer the light of my beautiful apartment.
I hate that when people are like, oh no, nothing. I just get annoyed. Like, it's like, oh, like, I can't get you any coffee, but I could just get you some soda. It's like, no, I needed coffee. Like, what? No.
You failed.
I'm not gonna. Why would I want something else? The whole point is I need coffee.
Yep. Alright, so I just had to change the time. And back to our case at hand. The unexpected halt of proceedings sent a clamor around the... Ah! You're being too rough with her.
I'm sorry.
She put her claw in my leg.
I'm sorry.
Are you?
Your leg okay?
No!
That did make this dream more exciting.
No, it did not.
I think it did. Wow, you're still holding your leg? Are you okay?
She punctured me. But
I'm
don't
sorry.
touch it. I said don't touch it.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Zelda, why?
But outside the Bailey, where Londoners knew nothing of the secret trial within, it was a typical still night. Then, at little past 8 o'clock that evening, Mr. Sholmes and his partner returned to Baker Street. The 3rd of November, 8:07 p.m., Sholmes' suite. Please no more logic and reasoning. We have returned, my dear fellows. Welcome back to Britain. Thank you for your timely help, Sholmes. Think nothing of it. Believe you've had an even more wearing day than Mikotoba and I, no? You could say that. We were on the brink of defeat in court earlier.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'll be fine. So this prosecutor Asogi had you on the ropes, did he? And he's your best friend, you say? Well, he's not really the man I knew in Japan anymore. Kazuma's changed.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo.
I mean, it's incredible. To think that he'd even entertain the idea of acting as the Reaper's assassin. Well, nevertheless, you must introduce me. After all, I've only ever met the young man as a corpse. Thank you so much for becoming a member.
Thanks for becoming a member! Meltos! You're breathtaking!
When this all started almost a year ago now...
I'm sorry you got hit by the
I'm
cat.
fine. Mr. Sholmes really hasn't told us the truth about what really happened back then. About the motivation for what he himself describes as a great detective's lie. Now then, I must say, it's really quite a journey all the way to France. Susie...
Well, it is another country, Mr. Sholmes. So what news of Judge Goku?
We took him to Scotland Yard. The investigating detectives there have a lot of questions for the man. Poor Professor Mikotoba, this must be quite a shock for him. Goku probably is the killer.
What?
I think so. I think Goku's, like, part of the, League of, the Reaper Assassins.
What?
Yeah.
You mean the judge?
I think the judge, yeah. Ah, yes. I picked this up at the telegraph office on our way home. What is this? Surely you haven't forgotten already. I put upon you for the matter only yesterday. You put upon me, Sholmes. I had to fill out your telegram to Japan and foot the bill as well, I might say.
Oh, you've had a reply already?
What was what was so urgent, Mr. Sholmes? Such matters can wait until later. I'm far too hungry for an involved conversation at present. Oh.
Well, that's good news, because supper is ready, everyone.
Ah, and what a feast it is! If I were none the wiser, I'd think the trial were already won already. Roast beef, kipper, stew, steak, and kidney pie. Yorkshire pudding.
Tomorrow could be a very, very long day, so eat up.
In that case, I think I shall seat myself here. This place appears to be the only one set with a helping of pheasant as well.
Oh, sorry, Hallie, not there.
Huh? Why ever not? Are we in set places this evening?
Yes, and that place is for Susie's study.
For me?
That's right. I made it special for you, Professor. Mickey.
I see. Well, that was terribly kind of you.
Mickey Mouse!
She knows you're her dad.
It's a shame, really.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, for a brief moment I believed that Susie and I will have sisters, I mean.
Oh!
No. Oh. Uh-oh.
Oh my gosh! Iris, do you mean that?
Yes, I know now. I overheard yesterday. I secretly listened to the conversation you had after I tricked you into thinking I'd left.
Haha. What? Nani? Oh my gosh. The misunderstanding arose because of that autopsy report from 10 years ago. But actually, it turned out that neither Dr. Wilson nor Professor Mikotoba are Iris's father. What?
How is that possible?
What in the world? Who's her dad?
What?
Yes, about that, Iris, you know,
I know, you can't tell me at the moment.
Really? She's not?
Oh, Iris!
Mikotoba's not her dad?
The pheasant is, by the way, of an apology. Sorry for eavesdropping.
Oh, no. That's quite all right. Oh, then why don't I get an apologetic pheasant? So just who is Iris's father? I suppose that's not something we'll be finding out in this game. But this is the last game! So then let us dine while our largely pheasantless plates are still piping hot. A fine idea, Sholmes. It looks absolutely delicious.
As much as you like. Always seconds.
This could be our last chance to ask questions before tomorrow's trial. About the telegram from Japan, and about Kazuma, and about Iris's dad, dang it! I gotta know! I can't let this opportunity slip away. Okay, so we have to talk to Sholmes.
Oh, somebody's saying she might be Kazuma's half-sister.
Huh?
Like, maybe her real dad is
The police officer guy?
the murderer.
Oh my gosh.
The professor.
Roast beef, kippers, stew, steak, and kidney pie. Yorkshire pudding. It all looks mouth-wateringly good. Indeed it does, doesn't it, Naruhodo? And if it were accompanied by even more morsel of pheasant, it would be perfection. You're still on that, aren't you? But I like pheasant.
Tara says, darn it, we gotta know who it is, though. I know, right, Tara and Grace? Oh, it really does look like a feast for celebrating a victory in court.
Or indeed, for drowning one's sorrows after defeat.
I hope you weren't referring to the trial tomorrow, Mr. Sholmes.
What? No, of course not. He's clearly still in mourning over the pheasant at the moment. Look at how he's such a little kid. Look how he's sitting like all there like, I want some pheasant. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? Oh my gosh. Surely it's abundantly clear that I wasn't brooding over Mikotoba's refusal to share his pheasant with me. Nevertheless, I felt the need to withdraw from the social circle for a while and look on with hungry eyes. Aha!
Why can't he give him half of it from his plate?
Sorry, Harley, but I cooked that pheasant, especially for Susie's daddy.
Even though I've played the role of father to you for far, far longer. Mr. Sholmes, could I discuss some things with you?
Why doesn't Sholmes just adopt Iris?
Certainly, my dear fellow, I find myself in quite the mood for a spell of conversation. No doubt. You're hungry to learn more of my deep love of the game, yes? I can probably contain my curiosity on that one. Ah. Well, you needn't not look at me in that fashion, my dear fellow. In what fashion would that be, Sholmes? It seems that before we discuss the pheasant, we have some rather unpheasant matters to discuss.
Yep.
Okay.
Very cute.
Very good.
Wah, wah, wah. Sholmes really wants that pheasant. Definitely, King Evan.
I demand the pheasant. So what was the telegram you received back from Japan then? Ah, this. I think my lucky stars had arrived in time, actually. Record fund has indicated. Duplicate follows. K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, John H. Wilson. What? Those 4 names? We've come across that exact same list before. It's the assassination list from the end of the first game.
Or maybe those are the assassins.
You think John H. Wilson was an assassin?
Maybe.
No, wait. Maybe he was. They came up at an unforgettable case last spring.
I don't know.
what appeared to be a simple case of aggravated murder turned out to be a masking of monumental intrigue. A plot that involved the sale of the British government's secrets to foreign estates, and exposing the means by which those secrets were being leaked. We deciphered a fragment of a message. K. Isogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, John H. Wilson. But we didn't find the names out until the case was over, and we never did get to the bottom of what they meant. All we knew was that the information had been sent by somebody in the British government to somebody in Japan. So, why are the names coming up now? Oh.
I guess you guys didn't... I'm sorry, Luke and Amber. Yeah, I really thought Susie's dad was Iris's dad, too. I know, right, Christina Combs? And, Cassie says, I think it might be Shomes. Yes! Where did the sender of your telegram discover them, Mr. Shomes?
Yeah, I mean, Susie acts more like his daughter than some of the other people we've met. But, I mean, again, he raised her, so... I have here the message I had wired yesterday. Allow me to read it for you. Enter Judge Goku's office, undetected, investigate the telegram records. Expect to find communication from Britain dated 1 year ago. List of 4 names, need by tomorrow. Naruhodo. I sent to a detective I know who specializes in... Oh, the guy with the glasses!
You asked Inspector Hosonaga to undertake such an onerous task for you?
And in my name? I wonder what guise he opted for this time. My dear fellows, it was a matter of great urgency, you understand? Anyway, the list of names was found in Chichiro's office, as Shomes predicted. So, you mean that the mysterious collection of names that was sent from Britain to Japan was... Oh dear.
It was sent to Judge Goku! He was the intended recipient!
I don't believe it!
But that doesn't answer the question of what the list of names actually signifies.
I did formulate a hypothesis about that. Without a shred of evidence, I couldn't possibly have shared it. Mr. Shomes? It's either a list of assassins or a list of targets. He looks deadly serious for once. The telegram from Japan has been entered into the court record. Kazuma's death. He's not going to tell us, is he? Okay. That tragedy we had to go through on the SS Bora... it was all for nothing. Kazuma wasn't dead at all, yo. We were completely taken in by a lie you told us. Your great detective lie. Well, I took no pleasure in deceiving you, mind you. However, at the time, all that concerned me was preventing the young man's study tour from taking place, whatever the cost. What? I capitalized on the events that transpired to see that he was sent back to Japan.
His remains, you mean?
Precisely, Miss Susie. And then, I made sure that somebody else was sent to Britain in his stead.
Oh my! You mean?
The arrangements between our two countries was already in place. One university student lawyer and one judicial assistant to be accommodated on a study tour. In other words, by arranging for someone else to fill the place originally intended for Mr. Isogi. I would successfully prevent the man from arriving on our shores for several years at least. Wait! Holmes isn't an idiot? What do you mean, but... what? It was all the aid of stopping Kazuma coming to Britain? That's why you... I think back, Mr. Naruhodo. Was there not somebody who quite casually urged you to continue your voyage to England? The terms of the study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in Great Britain and Japan. Ouch. In light of Mr. Osogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. It's the first game again. My dear fellows, the majority of the problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. This makes me like Sholmes even more, though. He's actually super smart.
Wait, I don't understand.
I think he knew Kazuma was an assassin.
Wait, what?
Uh-huh.
What do you mean Kazuma's an assassin?
I think Kazuma played the part of an assassin. He was going to go to London to kill people. I think.
What?
Yeah. All you require is one lawyer and a study tour can continue, surely, yes?
But there is no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer.
The voyage to London still promises a good month of time, does it not? Ample opportunity, I would say, to find ourselves another suitable lawyer.
Wow.
So, you manipulated me? I've often remarked on the extraordinary lengths to which friendship will drive a man. I was quite sure that you would arise to the challenge for your late friend. I don't believe it.
But if it was all contrived... I mean, what happened was treated by the authorities as murder. A woman was mistakenly arrested as the perpetrator. What do you suppose became of her?
Naturally, I didn't allow the misapprehension to have any serious repercussions. I subsequently explained everything and assisted the unfortunate soul in finding the foreign refuge she sought. I seem to remember Miss Susie and I had some other strong words for her. Well, she was certainly not devoid of all guilt. She deserved every word, I'm sure. I wonder if she made it to America then. I think so.
I'm afraid I simply cannot comprehend it.
I'm a little lost too.
Why would you go to such lengths, Mr. Sholmes? Why were you so determined to stop Kazuma-sama from reaching Britain? Because he's evil, maybe.
The truth is, 12 months ago, there was already a very tangible omen of impending tragedy, you see.
Oh!
An omen that, at this very moment in time, is close at hand. Huh? An omen of all these tragic events that already existed a year ago is close at hand? We need to find out exactly what Sholmes is getting on about. Okay. I guess we can try to present the telegram he gave us. Oh, I can't present.
know.
What am I supposed to do? Kazuma's dead? Back. Oh, I would have to present like this.
Yeah.
Derp.
It's fine, Luke.
Derp.
An omen.
There was no room for doubt with your instructions in this telegram, Mr. Sholmes. You were very clear that it was Judge Goku's office that should be searched, so you obviously knew that's where the list of names would be found.
K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson. Gregson.
But we only learnt the 4 names just over 6 months ago now. And only because they appeared as part of a top-secret government communications that was leaked. That's true, yes. But at the time, you were unaware of the background. You see, those 4 names were wired to Japan. Around 6 months before that, approximately this time last year, in fact, when you were both still in Japan. Huh? It really should be hypocrisy on my part to reprove others for intercepting state secrets, because after all, I am perpetually eavesdropping on communications between the British and Japanese governments. You're what? How? Never mind the details, but you should know. No secret is safe from Herlock Sholmes when he has designs on knowing it. What?
Oh my! Mr. Sholmes, what a fabulous idea!
I'm so...
Fabulous line!
I'm so lost. Now, 1 month after the list of 4 names was wired to the recipient Jigoku in Japan, well, Dr. John H. Wilson was murdered. Ah! As soon as I learned of the incident, a hypothesis rapidly took shape in my mind. As it turned out, I was partially correct and partially mistaken. Nevertheless, it was the beginning of all the tragic events that were to follow. What?
Mr. Sholmes, please tell us all you know. Tell us about these 4 names and the tragedy to which they're all somehow connected.
The 4 names. As I said, when I learned Dr. H. Wilson's murder in Japan, my mind immediately turned to those 4 names because, you see, there was someone else on the list who I believed to be recently deceased. What? Who? A Shin. As it was transcribed in the Japanese script, in actual fact, Miss Assassin. And that was a familiar name to me. She was a professional killer, well known among London's unsavory classes. Oh, I see. But she had completely vanished from existence several months before Wilson's murder. So I came to the logical conclusion that she had herself been killed, and accordingly, I became fearful for the lives of the remaining 2 persons on the list.
Oh, Keisogi and T. Gregson.
Owing to our proximity, I decided to take measures to protect Gregson myself, but I determined it would be the safest if young Isogi were to stay away from Britain. Ah, so that's why you went to such lengths to prevent his study tour from going ahead. Exactly.
So, you already knew who Kazuma-sama was, Mr. Sholmes?
Oh yes, Sholmes and I have exchanged correspondence for years now. I've recounted many tales about Isogi to him in my letters, and the news of Dr. H. Wilson's death, of course.
So, Dr. Wilson is dead. I didn't know.
Oh, Iris, shoot!
Oh my gosh.
I know he wasn't my daddy, but still, it's very sad.
I mean, you hope it wasn't your dad, you don't know.
I'm so sorry, Iris. She thought it was her dad forever.
But the writing of... what I don't understand, the writing on the thing
Was
is Mikotoba's.
Mikotoba's.
The writings in the chest are Mikotoba's.
Mikotoba's.
So did Sherlock Holmes lie about who the real father is?
Yes.
He said that the person who wrote the letters was her dad.
And
Okay.
then he did lie. He had to.
Yeah, I guess.
We knew the significance of the name, obviously, but we just couldn't bring ourselves to tell you.
But what you told us, what you just told us, Mr. Sholmes, doesn't completely tie in with the facts. There's one big hole in your hypothesis. A big hole. Whoops. Susie.
Oh, a big hole, Mr. Naruhodo?
Ah, yes. You mean about Asin, I presume.
Of course, Asa Shin.
Exactly. She wasn't killed, was she? She was in Japan posing as a visiting student under the assumed name of Jazeel Brett. I'm glad you're keeping up, my dear fellow, but I only became aware of that fact 2 days ago in the foyer of the Great Waterloo Hotel.
Ah!
Oops. And upon hearing that the startling revelation, the hypothesis that I had formed surrounding those 4 names was completely turned topsy-turvy. What? Topsy? What do you mean? Topsy hypothesis. Because the names aren't those of victims, they're those of assassins. That's what I really believe now.
Yeah.
What do you mean when you say your hypothesis was turned topsy-turvy, Mr. Sholmes? I had believed all 4 names on the list to be the names of victims. However, I was mistaken. Very much so! Ashin was a killer! So this telegram is a list of both victims and killers, is it? Indeed. And it would seem that Miss Assassin was dispatched from Britain with the sole intention of dispatching Dr. H. Wilson,
Oh, wait.
her visiting student status being merely a front. Ah!
Oh my gosh. Which would, of course, explain why no motive could be determined for her actions.
So the real reason Dr. H. Wilson was killed by assassin is because he was the target of an assassination?
Yep.
And for armed with that knowledge, fresh consideration of this telegram puts the list in a very different perspective.
That means the other two people is one assassin and one target.
What do you mean exactly?
One is an assassin and one is a target.
Well, does it not strike you? There is another among the four, who subsequently became a visiting student. Wait, you mean... But of course, a name you know only too well. You mean Kazuma?
Oh!
He did say in court earlier today... Yes, on the 31st of October, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk in order to carry out a mission. And the mission was the assassination of the Mark. Young Mr. Asogi accepted that mission a year ago now.
Surely not!
In conclusion, this document is a contract of sorts. An international agreement, one might say, detailing an assassin exchange. An assassin exchange? How could Kazuma possibly get involved with something like this? Assassin exchange.
So
Holy
the
cow.
target was Gregson.
Gregson was... So Gregson wasn't... He was...
That means he was innocent.
Oh.
He wasn't the killer. He wasn't a killer. He wasn't... Greg's, he is innocent.
So he was just on the list. That's sad.
He was on the list to be killed.
Let's assume that we have two parties each visiting, wishing to dispose of a distinct individual. Those two parties then make a contract to swap their respective assassination targets. That would then be an assassin exchange, would it not?
So to begin with, the British assassin is dispatched as a visiting student to Japan, where she kills her target. And then the Japanese assassin is dispatched as a visiting student to Britain in order to eliminate his target. It certainly does sound like an exchange.
But what on earth is the point? Don't forget, Naruhodo, that the British assassin at least escaped conviction. Thanks to the diplomatic immunity afforded by the jurisdiction of the consular. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So,
Such jurisdiction should be null and void under the terms of the new treaty between our countries, though. So the fact that it was brought into play suggests that intervention at the very highest of levels. Highest levels? The Chief Justice, maybe? These murders were two sides of the same coin, linked not by a common motive, but a contractual agreement. As such, they appeared utterly unrelated, yet in truth, the assassins were complicit in one singular devilish scheme. That disassociation and the safeguard of diplomatic immunity were, I believe, the motivation behind this plot. But wait a minute, Sholmes. If this telegram really is describing the exchange of the assassins as you're suggesting, it would mean that the Japanese killer's target was never Shishira Goku at all.
maybe he agreed.
It would mean Asogi's target was actually Inspector Gregson. What? He was here for Gregson? So Judge Goku actually wasn't the mark?
Yes, that's exactly what it would mean. So he lied and said it was Goku. So he did kill his mark.
I hold myself personally responsible for failing to keep the inspector safe. Oh.
Mr. Sholmes!
I told him of my fears and implored him to seek a transfer to an overseas position. Obviously, with the young pickpocket in tow. Oh yes, Gina, so it was you who told him to leave. Come to think of it, Inspector Gregson did mention to us at the Great Exhibition that he transferred to Paris police and taking Gina with him.
Wait, because he knew he was going to be targeted.
But without informing me, he engaged in one last assignment, it seems. And sadly, it turned out to be his very last. This is too much to take in. I know, right?
Wait, why was Judge Goku in the trunk then?
I have no idea.
All right, everyone. That's quite enough of all that serious talk for the day.
No, we gotta know who your dad is.
Isn't it, Harley? I mean, look at the time.
Oh, no, quite right, Iris. We must conclude our preparations for tomorrow. What preparations? Oh, the court. Well, I think I shall make my way back to my hotel room now. This has certainly been a night to remember.
It is a little sad, though. I mean, I like the idea of you being my daddy. Because then Susie would have been my big sister.
I'm sorry, Iris.
I know, Iris. I was thinking quite the same thing.
Were you?
Maybe you guys... But if somebody like me would be worthy, I would be delighted to become your sister.
What? Really?
Oh yes, without question.
So, you teach me all the ways that you know how to throw Runo.
Yes, of course. It would be my pleasure. Let's throw him now.
You didn't have to agree quite so readily.
Oh, but wait a minute. If Susie's going to be my big sister, you have to be my big brother if you want to, Runo.
Oh no, not the anime trope of Big Brother. Huh? What? I'm not into lollies. I mean, of course. If you'll have me, I'll gladly be your brother.
Big brother!
Well done, Iris. We must always be mindful of feelings. I've raised you so well. Because being sensitive is your strong suit, naturally. Wow. Very interesting case.
Right. I'm going to work extra hard for tomorrow now, because it's for my big brother and sister.
What is all this talk about preparing for tomorrow? Preparing what exactly?
You'll just have to wait and see, Runo.
Oh! Good luck in court tomorrow. I'm expecting a sterling performance from both of you. I'll do my best, of course. So the overnight break in the trial's proceedings became a cultural turning point, exposing new truths whilst posing new conundrums. That list of 4 names on the telegram in Judge Goku's office, and the extraordinary assassination plot in which my best friend has somehow become involved. I felt as though I had been plunged into an even greater darkness of a sudden. I just want to say this, though. I think Iris knows that Susie and Naruhodo are going to get together.
Oh.
Well, she called them, like, her siblings. Like, you know.
Like their family.
Like their family, so...
Yeah, that's right. Like, she knows they're always going to be together.
But at the same time, I felt sure I would see the light again soon. It feels like we're getting near the end of the game. Because I was lucky enough to have... the most wonderful family in the world standing steadfastly behind me.
Aww.
Picture!
It's a Kodak moment.
That's sweet. To be continued. Alright. Well, I think that is a great stopping point. That's fantastic. Save your current progress. Yes. And, well, I mean, they'll probably have, like, a thing in the court. Like, let's see if they go right to the court, if there's going to be, like, a Old Bailey antechamber thing. 4th of November, 9:30 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. Nope, no antechamber, goes right into the courtroom. Wow. Before we begin today, I have a brief announcement. As with the closed trial 10 years ago, some astonishing facts have come to light in these proceedings. The revelation that the well-known Reaper is actually an organization illegally executing its own brand of justice, and the discovery that a respectful yard inspector was at its heart until he himself perished in the assassination plot. Nope, he was innocent. Well, I say to all members of the judiciary here present on this occasion that we will stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth behind these disturbing findings.
Which are false.
Consuls, you will undertake this trial with resolve to pursue the truth to the bitter end. Resolve? Yeah, that's my intention.
We used to be friends with Kazuma, now we know he's a cold-hearted killer.
He acts like a cold-headed. My lord, if I may inquire. The defendant may speak, I suppose. Thank you. On what grounds is Kazuma Sogi permitted to continue in his role as prosecutor?
Yeah, he was hired
He
as
was
an
intended to be colluding with the victim in a plot to assassinate an innocent man. He shouldn't be enjoying the privilege of freedom, let alone be leading the prosecution.
Thank you.
I submitted a written petition to Lord Strongheart. I requesting that judgment of my transgressions be delayed by 1 day. You did what? In today's proceedings, I intend to expose everything. My whole life for the last 10 years has been leading to this 1 day. Kazuma! Whatever the outcome of this trial, I give my word that I will accept whatever punishment is deemed appropriate, however severe. And I suggest you prepare yourself for the same, Reaper! I am not the Reaper, you crazed Japanese boy! Kazuma's bristling with hostility today. I get the distinct impression we're heading into some very dangerous territory.
Is that really even Kazuma-sama anymore? Standing before us?
As an extreme exception to normal practices, I have granted this prosecutor's request. The defense finds this acceptable, I presume?
Say no.
I mean, it's really weird, but yeah, whatever, my lord, sure. Why not? Excellent. In that case, in the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session once again.
The fact that the judge... May I just say, I
Go
feel
for it.
like Lord Strongheart and Judge Goku were colluding together to run this assassination, right?
I think they're
I think
both the same.
everyone is corrupt. Like, everyone. So basically, we're completely screwed. Like, how are we gonna get a judge who completely is corrupt to, like, agree that Asogi is, like, this is not gonna work out? Like,
I don't know. The defense is ready, my lord. The prosecution is more than ready. Very well, then. Presumably, this has taken long enough. Prosecutor Asogi, begin. As you wish, my lord. The prosecution calls the first witness to the stand. Bring Shishiro Jigoku into the courtroom.
because why would the telegram be sent from Britain? It was sent from somebody in Britain to someone in, and it was received by the government, so, I mean, this is just like...
It's very interesting, isn't it? At last, when we reach the final battle then, he's putting literally everything on the line now in order to get to the truth, huh?
Yeah, the truth. Yeah, whatever that means.
Come on, Ryunosuke, it's time for that steely resolve, because this is going to test it to its limit. Da-da-da.
It's a trap. Yep, that's definitely right, Kyle.
It's a trap, yes.
So much shadiness.
Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Huh. So it was you who issued this, was it? Your subpoena? I did what was necessary, sir. Well, look at what the young man has become. I didn't think I'd see the day that you would take that tone with me, I must say. The witness will ensure his response as pertinent to the questions asked.
Pertinent.
Pertinent to the questions asked, please. My name is Shishiro Jigoku, a Supreme Court judge from the Empire of Japan. 16 years ago, the man came to London as a visiting student. 6 years later, he returned to Japan. As a well-presiding judge over the Supreme Court, he is also currently Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. Yo, this goes very deep. I'm of course fully aware of Mr. Goku and his pre-eminent roles.
Oh, you know him?
I invited him personally to the International Forensic Science Symposium as a representative of his country. I hear he also played a role in the conclusion of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. Ha 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 ha! It was a great honor to be involved in negotiations. I put all my all into that treaty. Judge Goku, I must ask. Well, I never fancy the young murdering student turning up here of all places. You acquitted me yourself. And now I'm practicing defense lawyer. Oh, yes. And I full of self-importance like your friend across the courtroom, I see. You came here to London by invitation to the International Forensic Science Symposium. But then, without informing anyone of your plans, you took flight to France. Ah, took flight? I'd have to object to that turn of phrase. Then explain yourself. What exactly were your circumstances then?
He was in the trunk.
Well, I was somewhat expecting this, and I'm sorry to say, I decline to comment. What?
Wow.
Leaving the country prematurely when I was invited may be questionable etiquette, yes. But my decision is unrelated to this case. I can't be bound to testify.
Yeah, you can.
Unrelated, you say?
Yeah, I want to know what happened.
I appreciate that respected police inspector has been killed, for which I offer my condolences. However, being an alien, I obviously never met the man, nor do I know the first thing about him.
Really? Because it seems like you do.
As such, I'm in no position to testify. It's as simple as that.
So, you would run from all this?
I beg your pardon, Susie?
This case is far more reaching than the murder of Inspector Gregson, Judge Goku. It has ties to another murder, a case that was tried in Japan almost a year ago now.
A year ago in Japan? The murder of Dr. John H. Wilson, you mean? That's right. And you, Judge Jigoku, are at the heart of both cases. The defense has evidence to prove it. Well, Ryunosuke, I see from the look in your eyes that you're resolved to carry this through to the very end, too.
Okay, killer.
Let's see your evidence, then. What proof do you have that Shishiro Jigoku is involved in this case? Probably be the telegram.
Yeah, that was sent to him. You're not going anywhere, Your Excellency. That's right, OH. It's getting intense. It is Mark V.
This is a telegram detailing a communication sent between Britain and Japan approximately 1 year ago. The communication contained 4 names. Why do you have 2 C words next to each other? Sorry. Kayasogi, Assassin, T. Gregson, and J. Wilson. Hold it! You little...
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Where did you get
Oh
that?
my gosh! Oh my gosh!
In Tokyo, from your office, of course, Judge Jigoku. What? How on earth did you...
Oh my god!
What's this about? Why is my name on that list?
Oh yeah, as if you don't know.
The list of 4 names follow a certain pattern. T. Gregson and John H. Wilson are the names of the victims. Kayasogi and Assassin are the names of the assassins. No!
That's right! That's right! That's what happens! This is what's happening!
Yep. A year ago in Tokyo, Dr. John H. Wilson's life was taken in a Western-style restaurant in the capital. The culprit was found to be a visiting student who went by the name of Jazeel Brett. But her real name was Assassin, a professional killer sent on a mission to kill from Great Britain.
A. Shin and her victim, J. Wilson.
And the murder that took place just here in London was a counterpart to that crime. An assassin sent from Japan, also a visiting student, Kazuma Asogi, whose victim was the British police inspector Tobias Gregson.
Kayasogi and T. Gregson. 1 assassin from each country to kill a target residing in the other.
What exactly is the defense suggesting? Well, these two cases of murder, one that took place in Britain and one in Japan, were masterminded by a pair of individuals from each country as the form of an assassin exchange. And the telegram the defense has acquired is proof of this international contract to kill. What? What? Whoa. The telegram was found in your office, Judge Goku. In other words, the mastermind in Japan was you!
Wow.
Judge Goku, what is this all about? And you, Kazuma, you lied. What? Maybe Kazuma's not in on it.
Maybe his dad was the assassin.
What's his... No, his...
Keisogi, his
Yeah, but his father's name was Jensen.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. During yesterday's proceedings, you acknowledged that you had accepted the assassination mission. But the mark wasn't Judge Jigoku at all. It was T. Gregson, Detective Inspector of Scotland Yard. As shown by the name on the killing contract. Very impressive, Ryunosuke.
Oh, crap.
But actually, I didn't lie. What? The name of the target I was ordered to kill never passed my lips yesterday. The idea that Yashiro Goku was the mark came entirely from you! Ah! You deliberately avoided saying a name? The defense claims these four names indicate some sort of international assassin exchange. I'm sure I speak for all present when I say that very idea seems utterly absurd. Oh, okay.
He's involved.
He's involved, yeah. Well, Mr. Goku, what do you have to say for yourself? His silence only goes to prove his guilt!
There's another very important point that this new development brings to light. There's now a distinct possibility that the scene of the Inspector Gregson's actual murder was in the witness's cabin aboard the SS Grouse.
Judge Goku, you have to testify now. To refuse would put you in contempt of court. Why, you little... There's no need for quite such vicious stares, young man. Very well, then. As a parting gift to you all, I will tell you everything I know.
Oh my gosh, what?
Okay.
A parting gift.
It seems this Japanese gentleman has information that the court must hear about the alleged assassin exchange and the events of the night of October 31st. Present your former testimony now. Oh, blast.
Bless you.
As you wish, my lord. Oh, jeez. Oh, nuts. I think we might be done because I don't think I could get a breath.
Why can't you get a breath, honey?
Read.
The Assassin Exchange. Oh, I see, because you're talking so much. I'll be the judge.
No, I got it.
So it's true that Kazuma Sogi was assassined.
Nope, I'm
assigned the assassination mission.
No.
1 year ago now.
No. It's true that Kazuma...
No, I'm doing it!
No. It's true that Kazuma was assigned to the assassination mission 1 year ago now.
No, I can do it. I'll be the judge.
The target was Inspector T. Gregson. That was the condition of the British study tour. However, in the end, something happened that meant he, the young man, was unable to carry out his mission.
That's too much talking for you.
On the evening in question, a member of the crew was on duty outside my cabin at all times. If there had been a shot fired, the crewman would have heard it. So clearly, I can't be involved! That's a pretty quick witness testimony. Alright, so you admit it then. This communication suggests there really was an assassination exchange agreement between Britain and Japan? A political endeavor at the highest levels, not something I can discuss here.
To use such a worthy practice as foreign study to coerce someone to commit murder. Judge Goku. How dare you? It's the most appalling thing I've ever heard.
Appalling? Well, it's easy to judge.
Pardon?
Asogi had a reason for taking his sword to that British inspector, you know. What? Which is why he accepted the mission in the first place. Isn't that right, Consul?
Kazuma-sama.
Judge Goku, if you are the mastermind behind this operation in Japan, then tell the court the identity of your counterpart in Britain. I'm not obliged to divulge that information. What?
Do it.
As I said yesterday, I've killed nobody. I freely admit that I accepted the mission, but on the night the plan was to be executed, I backed out.
No.
In short, this assassin exchange that the defense has identified is unrelated to the events of this case.
No.
The crucial point is this. Your police inspector can't have perished aboard that steamship in Dunkirk, because if he had been shot in the cabin, it's inconceivable that a member of the crew wouldn't have heard it. That's right. Gregson was killed after returning to London in the room of the Fresno Street. And the perpetrator of the crime was the Reaper, Barrick von Zeeks.
No.
The prosecution's accusation remains unchanged. You little...
How do we know he shot him, though?
To think that a seemingly innocent foreign exchange program was a facade for such a Machiavellian details. Clearly it's the plot only a government minister and a high-ranking judge, such as the witness, could hope to execute. Well, I seem to recall that it was someone on the British side who controlled everything. Be that as it may, it's not the place of this court to pursue this villainous assassination exchange plot. We're concerned only with the tangible events pertaining to the murder of Inspector Gregson.
There's no way.
Is the defense clear on that point, Consul? Hey, that's weird. Yeah, sure, my lord, whatever. I'll keep that in mind as I cross-examine a witness.
Don't do the judge, Amber.
The assassination exchange.
Oh, you were on the Mario Kart stream. Thank you, E2S2 fan.
That's great. It's true that Kazuma Asogi was assigned as an assassin on this mission. Yeah. A year ago now, when Kazuma was still in Japan then. Correct. It was at the very examination center of the applicants for study tour that I approached him. I'll never forget it. I remember exactly what you said. You just came out and asked me forthright if I'd consider traveling to Britain on an assassination mission.
Surely not.
I thought it was a joke at first, of course, but then it was made clear to me that if I didn't accept, I wouldn't be considered for the study tour. What? So you agreed to it? Just for that? I mean, I know how much you wanted to study in England, but assassination? The Empire of Japan had accepted a proposal from the British Empire at the time. An agreement to send a student from each country to the others to deepen cultural understanding and friendship. But behind the scenes, the chosen students were to be given the assassination missions. I had no choice but to accept the proposal that originated from my British counterpart.
Why? Why didn't you expose the plot there and then, Judge Goku? Yeah, it seems super
Britain
corrupt.
acknowledges no part in these alleged begotten dealings. I'd advise you not to make spurious allegations, Foreign Minister Jigoku. As a witness, I'm bound to tell the truth, my lord. Anyway, I picked Asogi and explained the details of the plan to him. Okay.
What did you tell him?
The target was Inspector Gregson. That was the condition of the study tour.
Hold it!
Why Kazuma? Why did you pick him as an assassin? He was the most capable of all applicants, and in addition, I knew his desire to travel to Britain was very strong. In fact, it was almost more than a desire. It was his whole purpose in life. Yeah, as his best friend, I can certainly attest to that. The way he threw himself into his studies, the way he pursued becoming qualified as a lawyer. was all ultimately for that one single goal of being accepted on a study tour to Britain. Susie?
Oh, of course! We know the reason behind that! No worries, A2S2 fan. Thank you so much for coming by when you can. He was determined to find out for himself the truth about his father, Genshin Isogi.
There's nothing I wouldn't have done to get here. But that agreeing to assume the role of assassin or betraying people's trust... Well, you certainly did a fine job of betraying mine, Isogi. Huh. But why was Inspector T. Gregson the target? I have no idea. Those were the orders from Britain. I was in no position to question them. You have no idea? Really? I find that hard to believe. Oh, do you?
Judge Goku was once a visiting student here in Britain himself, of course. Perhaps he had some connection with Inspector Gregson from that time.
The defense really ought to catch up. With what? With the fact that the assassin exchange was absolutely nothing to do with the case under scrutiny here. Yes, I've already admitted to recruiting Isogi.
But then he said that...
However, in the end, something happened.
Hold it!
I presume you're referring to the incident that occurred during Kazuma's passage to Britain in January? The awful tragedy that took place on the steamship. Word arrived at the ministry some 2 weeks after the ship's departure from our shores. The visiting student had been killed, but his body had somehow gone missing in Hong Kong. The news was wired to me from a detective I placed on the ship to accompany the assassin. Obviously, Kazuma didn't actually die at all, but he did lose his memory, including all the details about his special mission. Did you not consider dispatching another assassin at that point?
Wow!
Wow.
Why would you even ask that?
That wasn't possible simply because that black-clad young student over there had already put himself forward as Isogi's replacement. Huh? And there was no way to there was no way to stop him from reaching Britain. Ah, whoopsies! My hands were completely tied.
So Mr. Shom's strategy worked perfectly then.
He, predicted everything that would happen. It's kind of crazy. Months later, my memory returned. But I'd never intended to go through with the assassination mission anyway. So you were playing me right from the outset, were you? Is that it? I'd sooner be guilty of that crime than taking someone else's life. I was prepared to do whatever I had to in order to get myself here to Britain.
Then who killed Gregson?
This line of questioning has gone on long enough. Oh. Uh-oh. Thunder. All the court should be concerned about is the testimony given by the witness. Are details relating to his relationship with Inspector Gregson and the victim's murder. In that case, as I already made perfectly clear, I had no connection to the man or his death. And you have some means of substantiating this plea? On the evening in question, a member of the crew was on the duty outside my cabin.
Hold it!
Okay. Outside your cabin in the first-class area of the SS Groose, you mean? Yes, that's right. No, not least because there was a murder of a student passenger earlier in the year, I imagine. The linear operators have taken to postponing crewmen outside first-class cabin doors. I can confirm the presence of the crewmen guard myself. What do you mean? Because I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk that night. I witnessed it with my own eyes. There was a well-built crewman standing guard directly in front of the door to the witness's cabin. At that particular time, of course, I'd gone to the ship's dining room for dinner. The inspector and I asked the crewman to allow us into the cabin while we waited for the Judge Goku to return. I suppose Inspector Gregson was there in capacity as the Reaper. He was intending to take the witness's life. Exactly. As I've said numerous times now, I had no intention of killing anyone. So the crewman let the 2 potential assassins into the cabin he was supposed to be guarding?
I don't believe...
Not the most convincing of sentries, really.
I don't think Gregson was gonna do anything.
In truth, those were my thoughts too. But anyway, I stayed to talk with Inspector Gregson for a short while. And then I left him there and made my way off the ship alone. Well, was the guard still at the door when you went? Yes. He glared at me as I walked past. You see, that proves it.
That proves what?
If there had been a shot fired, the crewman would have heard it. Okay.
So clearly I can't be involved. How did Gregson die, though? Does it say he died by bullet wound? Or did he die by some other means? Where's his body? Like,
Hold it!
I don't think that necessarily he died by bullet.
Well, we already know that there's ice on the boat, so my guess is the reason why the body did not start decomposing is because someone tossed his body inside a refrigerator on the ship. You already saw that there's a bullet hole in the ship itself. So if they already have a refrigerator on board, that's how they could keep the body frozen from the day's journey back to Britain. Although,
Yeah.
I would not want to be whoever was eating food, like from that refrigerator afterwards, because that is not sanitary. The crewman who was standing directly outside your cabin door, you mean? That's right. A muscular man with a permanent grim expression on his face. He didn't once move from that spot. To be honest, I thought he was a miserable fellow. But as it happens, he's a vital witness now! Ha 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 ha. There's no doubt that Gregson was killed by a gunshot, and it's inconceivable that a crewman standing just outside the cabin door wouldn't have heard that.
But wait, what about the ship's enormous steam engines? The noise of them could have drowned out the sound of the gun being fired.
Sadly, young judicial assistant, that won't wash.
Oh?
You will recall that my cabin was the first-class area of the ship, which is, of course, the quietest. Don't imagine for a moment that if anything like steerage, where the judicial assistants go...
I didn't mean...
Hey now! But a hole like that made by a bullet was found in your cabin, Judge Goku. That's compelling evidence that a gun was fired in there. What's that? A bullet hole? Oh yes, you were talking about that detective uncovered in the wall yesterday, I presume. That was obviously a rotten panel eaten out by a woodworm. No doubt he didn't find an actual bullet. That's the hole in his argument? Sadly, I was unable to...
Sorry.
Sadly, I was unable to arrange for the crewman to be brought back to Britain with me. But obviously, if a gun had been fired in my cabin on the night in question, as the defense implies, it wouldn't I have been arrested on the spot, and would never made it to Britain in the first place.
Unless there was a loud noise that night.
Very true, the witness logic is sound. Since no gunshot was heard, the witness cabin on the night in question, we must assume that the witness is telling the truth. I'm glad you've come to your senses, my lord. They're in on it.
This is just so corrupt.
I know Kazuma's already admitted to taking on this incredible assassination plot, but even so, hearing it confirmed by somebody else is still a real shock.
It's unforgivable! Using Kazuma-sama's feelings to manipulate him into agreeing to such a despicable plan!
But I think Kazuma manipulated Judge Goku too. He completely double-crossed him.
Oh dear! It's hard not to see that as a stroke of brilliance on Kazuma-sama's part.
One way or another, Gregson ended up dead. I really think that murder must have happened aboard that steamship.
So you mean...
Judge Goku must be lying. But we pressed him on everything.
I know I shouldn't let my emotions cloud my judgment. But you must destroy him, Mr. Naruhodo.
But how?
Kazuma Asoke was assigned the assassination mission 1 year now. The target was Inspector Gregson. However, in the end, something happened that meant the young man on the evening...
A member of the crewman was outsourced.
These people are so corrupt.
I know.
Feels like Thanksgiving.
Wait, what's this? Following the departure from the port of Dunkirk, all crew members are required to assemble on the main deck, 10 p.m., in order to review evacuation procedures. The drill will take place for 20 minutes. That's how he did it! There was a drill that night, so there would have been alarms and stuff going off on the boat, so it easily would have covered up a gunshot. I'm gonna say this.
Okay.
This! Yes! As the court has heard, there was a crewman posted outside Judge Goku's cabin at all times. However, we can be sure that contrary to the witness's claim, the guard wasn't there at all times. What? I have here a notice of a particular event that was scheduled to take place aboard the steamship on the 31st. What? Where did you get that? Haha. It's evidence gathered by Herlock Sholmes himself. You were acquainted yesterday, if you remember. Herlock Sholmes again? That's right. According to this little itinerary, after leaving the port of Dunkirk at exactly 10 p.m. for a period of 20 minutes, all crewmen of the SS Gross were to gather on deck for an evacuation drill. All crewmen were away from their posts? And during the 20-minute interval, of course, any gunshots emanating from your cabin would have been heard by no one.
Wait, why did he want to carry out the
In summary, Judge Goku, you had ample opportunity to commit the crime and kill Gregson. Mwah!
Why wouldn't he say Asogi killed him, though?
Objection.
A 20-minute window of opportunity? That's an excellent find, Ryunosuke. But it amounts to nothing. Why? Because the witness clearly stated in his testimony that no incident occurred in his cabin. Unless you have some decisive evidence that can show his testimony to be false. Your accusation is nothing more than conjecture. Very true. Well, Consul. Inspector Gregson was killed in Judge Goku's cabin that night. I'm certain of it. Because the defense has evidence to prove it. We do?
We do?
You will present the evidence for the defense at once, Consul.
Ooh.
What proof do you have that the victim's life was taken in the cabin?
Take that, Judge. Yep.
I mean, the only other thing we have is whatever this is.
Yeah, E2S2 fan or anybody else, I'm sorry that you guys have trouble getting in the Among Us rounds. I wish I could share the code on Google. I might be able to do that if I can figure out how to use it, but it would be kind of unfair to everyone else, because, like, usually I can only share the code with members and stuff for members rounds. But if you've been having a lot of trouble getting into the round, I can maybe try to share it for, like, 1 or 2 rounds. But I don't know if I'll be able to even do that. I could try. I don't know if that would be possible, but... anyway, I'm done talking about that. Sorry. I can try the best I can, but I don't want to be unfair to everybody else, so I'll have to think about it. Thank you.
Okay. Let's examine this thing.
Sorry if you guys haven't been getting in the rounds. Oh.
You see these little things are all over the place, don't you? It's the part of the top on the pocket watch that you twist to set the time, isn't it?
It's called the crown, I believe. A watch would be quite useless without one.
The crown? Like, one that sits on the top of a monarch's head. That's a very grand name for such a tiny part. But actually...
Yes, Mr. Naruhodou?
If this is a crown, I would have a feeling I might have seen a monarch around here somewhere with a very bare head.
If by monarch you mean pocket watch, then I'm quite sure you have.
And there we go.
Pocket watch.
Gregson's pocket watch top.
Was found in his cabin!
Judge
Oh my
Goku,
gosh.
this was found in your cabin yesterday. What is it? The crown of a pocket watch? A pocket watch?
Uh-oh.
And if you will observe the victim's pocket watch, we know he treasured so much
Oh my gosh.
is missing precisely that part. It can't be. Oh yes. Moreover, this crown is a perfect fit on the spindle protruding from the victim's watch. Now, the fact that this was retrieved from Judge Goku's cabin tells us that the victim's watch almost certainly broke there. Take that, Grizzly Bear. In other words, the victim was killed on the 31st during the 20-minute evacuation drill in the cabin occupied by you, Judge Goku.
Oh my
Gotcha.
gosh.
Well, you're razor sharp, aren't you, you young murderer? But I didn't kill
Young
anybody.
murderer.
Objection.
Expertly maneuvered, Ryunosuke. Huh? And your argument sounds entirely plausible. At first. But rather, like this pocket watch, it's full of cracks. What? And I believe Judge Goku feels the same way. I was wrong to acquit you earlier in the year. Sorry. If I'd known that it would result in having anyone to listen to this drivel, I would have declared you guilty just to spare the world your ridiculous bombast. Hey! I think it's clear that the witness will have to give further testimony. When you hear what actually happened in my cabin that night, you will notice the pitfall into which you have stumbled. That's enough. Prior to renewed testimony, I would like to clarify one point. The fact that this part of the victim's watch was discovered in your cabin means that you acknowledge he was there, I presume? Yes, I do. Very well then. You may proceed to give your formal testimony about what exactly happened in your cabin aboard the ship on the evening of the 31st of October. Of course. As a man of the law, I have no intention of obstructing justice. Do you? The events in the cabin.
The judge is acting, well, more than specific. The fact that he says he would have had Ryunosuke killed so he didn't have to listen to his dribble is just doesn't seem like something.
Sounds like something an assassin would say.
It doesn't sound like what a normal person would say.
That's what I was thinking. Alright, guys and gals, that is going to conclude today's episode because I have a feeling this is going to get really long. But anyway, thank you so much for watching the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. On your way out of the video after it is no longer live, make sure that you guys leave a comment because all of you watching have hit the like button already, so that's awesome. It's a great ratio, 125 people watching, 140 likes. That's fantastic. But let's see this video get 60 comments telling us what you thought about the case, who you think Iris's father is, and what about the twists and turns that have occurred. Also, I have an announcement. We will be starting 2 new live Let's Plays this week after Ace Attorney and Wario wrap up. We will be doing Lego Batman 1 as a 10-year anniversary live stream series, as well as looking at Sonic Generations in honor of Sonic Colors, also as a live stream series, because we have no new games to look at until the very end of September, so we're going to do something in the meantime. So, yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that's happening, and they will be happening on the Ace Attorney and Wario time slots of 4 and 6 o'clock in the future, so sometime this week. So, yes. Alright, anyway, guys, there will be another stream of Wario happening now at 8 o'clock because it's dinner time. And I will see you guys later after that with Marvel. I don't believe I will be able to get to my podcast tonight because I need to get some sleep. And based on your guys' healthy, we'll say, medicine for the channel, I can actually kind of go to bed a little bit earlier and get a power nap in after the Marvel stream tonight, which would be something I really need because I only tend to get about 4 to 5 hours of sleep a day. And I'm kind of looking forward to it. So thank you so much, everybody, for your hard work. So, yes. Anyway, God bless and happy gaming. Thank you so much for watching, people. Thank you, Capcom, for providing a copy of this game for review, walkthrough, and streaming purposes. And Ace Attorney will continue tomorrow. Wario will be starting up at 8 o'clock. So, see you guys there.
Well, God bless, happy gaming. See ya.